What's happening, comic bookie fans? Got a couple viewers in so far. Thank you so much for joining us. Sean, what's going down, bro?
What's up, brother? Happy Thursday. Just kicking it, man. I know it's going to be just you and I tonight,
Yeah,
so
Mark's
have a nice little.
Mark's not here this week just due to some complications in schedules and stuff. Like, it always happens, but me and you are here. Just double checking again, not making sure we're not having the same mistake we did last week with the audio. Should be good, and we'll go ahead and get rolling. But in these first couple minutes, fans, viewers who are watching right now, is there anything that you'd like us to talk about, touch on? Any books, any sports that you want us to get into? We got plenty to get into tonight, but anything that we may have missed, please let us know. Any questions or comments? Sean, how's the week been going so far?
It's good, man. It's been a busy one for sure. Typical the work thing, the thing we actually get paid for, the whole job. So, I just been busy, bro. How's everything with you?
Doing good, doing well. Work's busier than hell, Traffic is getting a little bit worse, So, but it's not, it's not the worst thing in the world. So, but we'll see. Hopefully this audio is good.
Yes, sir. The most important thing, make sure the quality is good, and we'll go from there.
So we'll see. Okay, cool. So we are good to go. So fans, please enjoy episode 102 of the Comic Bookies podcast. Let me get a little bit of silence. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Comic Bookies podcast. Thank you so much for joining us live on YouTube and Twitch for episode 102. This week we have plenty to get into in the world of sports and comics. Comics first this week. We have more books from DC, Boom, Dynamite, Image, AWA. We have a bunch. This is a huge week for comic books, so stay tuned for that. More bad news in the state of California as far as Comic-Cons are concerned. We'll get into that. And also, me and Sean talk episode number 8 of WandaVision, along with other shows that have started, and more news in comic book, movies, and TV. And then over on the sports side, we have more news in the NFL and NASCAR. We will recap the race in Miami, and we are on to the Western Hemisphere. We are on to the sort of West Coast, to Nevada, as we go into Las Vegas, the first of 2 races this year. But thank you so much for joining us live on YouTube and Twitch. This is the Comic Bookies podcast. Let's roll. All right. So there you have it. The good old intro to the Comic Bookies podcast. Oh, and by the way, I got a few comments, one from Mark last week and one from a coworker. They're like, "Hey, bro, what's up with your your background, man? Like, nice lawnmower and stuff." I was like, you know what? Hey. This is real life, okay? You know what? This is what I have to work with. I don't have, I got a couple bedrooms, a playroom, something that, I share a wall with my daughter when I'm in the office, where the computer's at. So if I try to do it that way, then she'll probably be up all night and this wouldn't work. But hey, you know what? I updated it. If you look over here, I have a comic book box. So a little comic book for you.
Hey, you know what? We got to start doing the modern technology, editing the background. Make sure like you're in paradise.
Well,
you could be in
I know,
New
right?
York.
And I'm not sure how much they cost. I haven't looked up, but like a green screen thing, but we'll see. So, all right, folks, let's get back into the episode. We're going back live in 3, 2, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Comic Bookies podcast, where we are brought to you by Treasure Island Comics in Fremont, California, just like every single week. Yesterday, March 3rd, was the new comic book day for this week. Plenty of books to grab. Go see Alex. He'll get you started on a pull list. And yeah, thank you so much for the sponsorship. Sean, we don't have Mark today, but it's good to see your face another week. How's it going, bro?
You know what? Likewise, it's good to see your face too as well, brother. Everything's good, man. Thursday night. I know we usually do Wednesday, but we are doing Thursday. Comic Bookies podcast, man. Episode 102. I'm doing good. I'm expecting a great episode with all the crazy stuff in the comic world this week, bro. There's so many damn books. It is crazy. And just all the news. All-Star break with the NBA coming up. So no, everything's in full swing right now, bro. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Just doing some big boy things, as far with the house and everything. I'm looking to like refinance, the whole big word of refinancing, because this is not sports or comic books, but these interest rates are super low, and I'm getting advice from my mom who's in real estate and other people who I know, and so we're in the middle of the process of doing that, possibly maybe pulling some money out to do a little bit of remodel. So that's pretty exciting. And it definitely, at almost 34 years old, I didn't know when I was going to be the one to do, I own the home, and then I'm looking to do this, looking to do that. So it's actually pretty exciting. It's pretty nerve-wracking at the same time, because you have to wait to get like approved for this much or that much or whatever. So it's kind of nerve-wracking, but exciting at the same time.
Yeah, like all my coworkers at work, that's like the thing they're all talking about is homeowners refinancing right now. The prices are obviously so high, but those interest rates are for the homeowners. Hey, man, refinance while you can. You too, man. It's the big boy things. It is sports and comics, but this is something that'll help everybody. You get them interest rates to lower them, guys.
Yeah, definitely. But thank you, everyone who's viewing the live stream right now. We are on YouTube and Twitch, so who's ever watching right now, please go and share like the link to the stream. Let people know that we're on right now and get them to come and enjoy the show. So let's get into it first, Sean. So we have comic books this week. Like we do last week with sports first, we kind of mix it up every week. So let us get into the comic books. If I can just pull it up real quick. This week we have a cornucopia, as we like to call it, of comic books. Over on the DC side, Batman 106, Infinite Frontier 0, so there's a huge story coming out, and it's like I think it's 4 or 5 issues across I think it's spanning the whole year actually, but issue 0 technically came out this week. The Swamp Thing #1, Crime Syndicate #1, that's a 6-issue miniseries, I can't wait to start that, and Suicide Squad #1. So a lot of #1s coming out of the future state, a lot of these new stories, new writers. I think we talked about, as far as I'm concerned, I think there's like James Tynion on Batman's like the only solid writer still on his story from pre-future state, so we'll see. Over on the Marvel side, we have the Avengers 43, Hellions 10, Runaways 34, Star Wars, The High Republic #3, and a big one, according to Alex, America Chavez, Made in the USA #1. And now here we go, bro. Tons and tons. I think I grabbed 10 books this week, and I got 6 different publishers. So over on AWA, we have Chariot #1, and one of our favorite ones right now, Casual Fling #2. Over on Image, I actually did pick up the first issue by Scott Snyder over on Image, Noctera #1. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue it, so we'll see after I'll review it next week. And Unearth #10. Boom Studios, here we go. Keanu Reeves, finally, after firing an artist and being delayed for so long. Berserker #1 comes out in Buffy the Vampire Slayer 23. Over on Dark Horse, Fear Case #2 for Mark, I believe he got that one. And then I think all 3 of us grabbed this one from Dynamite, James Bond, Agent of Spectre #1. So like we do every week, please, everyone in the chat, shout out your favorite books that you're reading right now, anything that we should be reading, anything you like or don't like, please. But Sean, let's start it off, dude. Comic book talk. What'd you like from last week? What are you excited for this week, man?
I got to go right into what we got this week, bro. It's not DC or Marvel related. Casual Fling #2. We talked about how much we like #1, and bro, #2 is like you're almost at the edge of your seat of what's gonna happen. It's like a movie, like a soap opera, like something that's so real life. And then James Bond, man. I know how much you and I like James Bond, and I'm happy Mark got it. James Bond, Agent Spectre #1 by Ian Fleming. Bro, I am so excited. I know this is something that we actually seen in previews, I want to say, a few months ago.
Yeah.
So I'm excited, bro. It's something that, dude, I didn't even know they had comics for this. I mean, I've watched every movie. So to have a comic on it, I'm excited, man. Definitely looking forward to what it's going to be about. And I'm going to be going Saturday, I want to say, to go pick up my books. So I'm expecting a fat stack, too. I don't know about 10 books, but I'll be having a good stack.
Yeah, no, for sure. Previews, there's not many books that I get really excited for from previews, and then I kind of think about it throughout the 2 months that it's not here yet. So finally, this is one of the ones where I'm like, oh, dude, finally it's here. Shout out Pop 13 Prospect Jose. Thank you so much for joining in. What am I excited for? What am I excited for this week? Probably, I don't know. I'm always excited. I think I'm excited for the Crime Syndicate #1, that 6-issue miniseries from DC, one of my first comic book series that I ever read when I was first starting out. I first started reading comic books digitally, like on the DC app. I really didn't know where to go as far as to get comic books, and so I kept buying like the 13 or 14.99 6-issue packs. I bought them like on my phone, and then I would read them on my phone, right? And then one of the story arcs of that Justice League run, it was, I think, who wrote that? Was it Jeff Johns or Jim Lee? I think it might have been Jim Lee. But the Crime Syndicate was in there, like Earth 3's version of the Justice League. Ultraman instead of Superman. You had Owlman instead of Batman. It's just pretty much the evil versions of them. And I think this is kind of like an origin story type thing for this one too. And another one, of course, Berserker #1. I don't know what to expect. I really didn't even like look up the synopsis and like kind of like the preview for it. And yeah, dude, I agree with you on the other two for sure. And I noticed we didn't get a Marvel one. I got 6 different publishers out of 10 books, and not one was a Marvel book.
That's not a bad thing, bro. Because for the listeners that listen to us week in and week out, it seems that lately it's been the booms, the Dynamite, AWA. Those are the ones that are really catching our attention a whole lot more. And of course, we do have some Marvels we might like, and of course, we got some DC that we like. America Chavez, Made in the USA #1, bro. I know you said Alex is, saying it's going to be a big thing. How big do you think it could be? Because you can already see, like, it kind of has that this can be something new. It has like a little like Captain America, Wonder Woman, but of course the Marvel version of it.
Yeah, I'm not sure because America Chavez, is she going to be in a movie? I can't remember if it's because she's going to be in a movie or TV show. I can't remember.
I think it might be a show. We talked about this, I think, a few episodes ago. I think it might be some sort of on screen, but no, I want to say maybe a show.
Yeah, because actually, what's funny is that book came out yesterday, and then in previews for DC, the DC Connect, I just saw previews for the issue 1 of Wonder Girl. That's that Yara Flor, the huge, new Wonder, like she's the new age Wonder Woman that was out on Future State. So finally, she's starting in like that would mean it's like May, I think May or June is her story starting. So it's a lot of these female led character books they're going to be good. Last week, what I really liked, I want to wait. I have to wait for Scumbag. Because
wait for Mark on that one,
Mark
bro.
has to be here for Scumbag.
I messed up not getting that.
Yeah,
man.
that's only the 5th issue though. So if you can find some back issues, actually go to the same website. I think it's like mycomicshop.com. They're out of Texas, so I don't know how easy it would be. I think the weather is now surpassed or
yeah, she got power now, so
you should get it. When I was actually reading all those James Bond stories from 3 or 4 years ago, they were like little 6-issue miniseries, but then the next story would start right after it. I would get it from there. I'd get the single copies. I would wait for a whole 6 months for a whole collected issue, but I wouldn't get the trade paperback because I really didn't know what that meant. In 2015, 2016, I didn't know what that meant yet, so I got each individual issue of it. But Scumbag, I think there's one more issue, and then it might take a break. I like how some of these things are taking a break, also. But I will wait. We'll wait to talk about Scumbag because it was a really good issue. Department of Truth that's blowing my mind. It's so crazy, and this one kind of takes a trip back in time to when Lee Harvey Oswald, like it had just happened. Lee Harvey Oswald, he shot and killed President John F. Kennedy, and then the next day he's shot by some gangster or whatever, and he dies. So the first couple pages is that in the news. Oh my God, he's been shot, blah, blah, blah. Lee Oswald has been shot. Yeah. And then it goes into this person from the Department of Truth walking him down somewhere in the Department of Truth to like their library, and they're going back and forth like, well, you're dead, so you're gonna have to stay down here for a while. And he wanted him to pretty much read up every single book in the library and learn about the actual truths of the world, and so that way he can be more knowledgeable, and so he can be a better agent from the Department of Truth. And the first ever story ever of mankind written down, he had to learn Latin from this one book to then decipher and read this other book, and that's what the rest of the issue was the actual story of this. And pretty much at the end, the last page was just like, who they're fighting against, the Enlightened equals Illuminati, and he was like, yeah, what the F? Like, it's so cool. Again, James Tynion. Who would have thought? James Tynion.
What are the odds?
And then, of course, a very explosive Harley Quinn at the very end. I don't know. According to, in the opinion of Mark, he thinks that the hyena is not dead, but I think that one of her hyenas is dead. So unfortunately, but what the hyena was doing was very noble, going into the building that the Starlet, she is like the antagonist of this story. She tries to kill Harley and the two her twins by setting her apartment building on fire, like with an explosion. And one of the hyenas goes in, saves the other twin, and I think that they are dead. But that's pretty much it. Besides that, it was like a low week for me because I think the 2 Source Point Press books, I didn't get them last week. I got them this week. So I already read Black of Heart, an amazing story. I can't wait to finish the story next month. 5 of 5 is out next month, and then I haven't gotten into Dead End Kids yet. But finally, Nuclear Family. I read it. It was pretty good,
yes.
But not good enough to pull it. That's my opinion on it. So what do you think about that? Because I know you grabbed it first issue, right?
That one I actually didn't.
Oh, you did?
And
Mark did.
Didn't.
That's right.
Mark did, but I did get 2 Moons. I know we talked about that last week. You know what? It was okay. I think, like you said, similar to the Nuclear Family, it wasn't good enough to pull. But I did kind of like the story. It's about Ace. He's pretty much in the army. It's kind of like in the Civil War days. And he has his grandpa, 2 Moons, who kind of has him seeing like visions, he's like hallucinating, to be honest. And then kind of towards the end, they have like a little battle with the Republican group. And yeah, it was crazy because Ace pretty much starts like hallucinating once the battle's over with one of his colleagues, and he pretty much just shoots them right in front of all of his group, and he just kind of sees like a monster. I think that's kind of like the twist that they were adding to it, kind of like the whole monster illusion type of thing. So I mean, it was okay. It was a good first introductory number 1, but it definitely wasn't good enough to keep. It was like you, it was a low week last week for sure. I got Stray Dogs also. I know Alex recommended that. I took a look through it. I read a little bit. It kind of didn't really catch my, it was really just a whole animation feel to it. Like it really felt like a Disney movie actually.
Yeah. Which one was better, would you say?
2 Moons. 2 Moons for sure. I mean, it's something that I can see me.
2 Moons or Shadow Doctor?
Man, it's funny because when I was reading 2 Moons, I was actually thinking about Shadow Doctor. Really? I would actually say 2 Moons because Shadow Doctor, I mean, I think the impression that you had is the same that I had. Like it was okay, but there was kind of something missing, a little slow in certain parts. I think maybe the beginning was like the most exciting part.
Yeah.
When they were when that group was still in all the alcohol. But no, I mean 2 Moons, it definitely had. I mean, I guess I could read number 2 of it, but I probably won't get it. But yeah, I would definitely pick that.
Okay, nice. Shoot, man. I mean, this is a huge week. Like, are you excited? Like,
bro, it is.
Because do you think that the Agent of Spectre is going to be kind of based off of Spectre the movie? Because I think from the synopsis, doesn't he have to work for Spectre? I think I read the preview to the book, right?
That is what we read when we read the previews, and even actually having it right here, Agent of Spectre number 1. There's a civil war brewing within Spectre. An upstart American member of the International Criminal Organization is attempting a coup, threatening to depose Ernst Stavo Blofeld. She's a guard against Blofeld's men, so they took her out, blah, blah, blah. James Bond, the wild card. But he has a plan to use internal shutdown. So I think he has to work with Spectre. But at the same time, I mean, I see that Felix is going to be in it from the movies. So
Felix Leiter, American.
Exactly. So I'm excited, bro. I know, man, literally it feels like we've been talking about this for a few months. So for it to finally be here, it was on my calendar, definitely.
Yeah. One more thing I wanted to touch on the actual books. I did flip through previews, and there's actually a few books that I am going to grab. Not just the first one, but there is actually... Here we go. They're getting back into it. Marvel has a 6-issue Fantastic Four series coming out. And so I was like, you know what? I don't think I've ever read anything with Fantastic Four. Maybe when I was reading like War of the Realms or something, they were, of course, because every single Marvel character was in that 6-issue miniseries.
I remember you reading that.
So I might get that one. It's like Fantastic Four, like All in the Family or something like that. And yeah, it actually looked pretty good. And I was like, you know what, 6 issues, I'll go ahead and grab it. And I think there was one brand new AWA one that I was going to get. Actually, their first like 8 issue, like lightweight. That's not a miniseries, bro. All AWA's been giving us is like 4 or 5 issue miniseries. So to get an 8, and that's what I mentioned. Garth Ennis is writing that one. He's the author of our Punisher Max stories.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be dope.
That's
but yeah,
gonna be really good, bro.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it for the comic book side. So let's get into some news, shall we? As everyone can see from our little other picture under the Comic Bookies logo, we have Comic-Con San Diego is freaking canceled. Now, I mean, this is just insane. I mean, but then at the same time, okay, so here's let's talk about it for a little bit. Let's go ahead and bring people into the chat. What do you guys think? I'm assuming most of you are Californians. You know, I didn't know until today, listening to Clay Travis, that he lives in Tennessee, and he said that Tennessee, besides like the first couple weeks or months or whatever that they were like in hardcore lockdown, they've pretty much been normal.
Yeah,
since like May.
Ever since Texas a couple of days ago got rid of the whole mask mandate, I think I've seen there's like 7 or 8 states with no mask mandate. But of course, they're just talking about Texas because they have the 3rd most death toll with the whole COVID situation.
Yeah.
I think the thing that gets me, bro, is Gavin, Mark's buddy, Mr. Newsom, just said that he expects to have some fans in all baseball stadiums opening day, which is next month.
Yeah,
so if next month you're gonna have some fans, why wouldn't you have some fans at a Comic-Con, which isn't until later this year?
So
I have that makes sense.
I'm going to assume it could, because it's completely indoors. It's at the convention center. So,
I'm sure you can maneuver around at that time of year with the weather being nice. I mean, come on now.
Because there is something outside. 85-90% of Comic-Con is inside the convention center, and then there's always something outside. Usually it was like an FX sponsored thing. They had people from like the Mayans or Sons of Anarchy there who was doing a panel, or they were having just autograph signatures and stuff. So it was usually something like that. But they can have something outside, completely outside. You know what I'm saying? Just to give the fans something, like it was crazy to hear that, I've been eating indoors since June of last year. What? And I know it comes down to the local governments, not only Governor Newsom, but the county and city, and it dwindles down into whoever is specifically running that area. Because I do know from my wife that Gavin Newsom months ago gave the opportunity for salons and stuff to be open, but Alameda County themselves said no. Because we have a good friend, Kat, who owns a salon in Pleasanton, and so that was kind of like, yeah. So it's like we kind of go back and forth, and he's like the captain of the state, so everyone puts all the blame on him, and everything. But Comic-Con is just another domino, and but like the Dodgers said, they want 10 to 14,000 fans in the stadium, at least that many throughout the whole season. If we can get that, and we can get a bunch of fans in Oakland, hell, 10 to 14,000 fans, that's like a sellout for Oakland, you know what I'm saying?
They need to be selling out every game, bro. I think the thing that gets me too is, look at the sample size of Disney World in Florida, and it's been open for how long?
Since July.
And I know, exactly, last July.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and you have not heard one thing of like, oh my God, they had to shut down. They had a major breakout. And if there's anywhere that is a universal destination of not just people in the U.S., but worldwide, it's Disney World.
Yeah.
So it just, again, I know it's the local government, so I can't sit here and, just dog them on this, but it just baffles me that like all these states, like certain ones, I mean, specifically California, is just strangleholding these small businesses. Disneyland for us. I mean, you already canceled the Comic-Con, which is not even until later next year. So it's just kind of crazy that people are, and I understand the safety. I'm not going to sit here and be ignorant. Like, there is a safety, but there's a point where you got to kind of like trust the process, as you'd say. Like, you got to trust people. Like, what are you going to do? Just, I don't know.
But I mean, in a couple weeks, though, they have like the Days of Disney. Like, what's the event that's going on in California Adventure where they're opening up the park to all shopping, all restaurants, just no rides. And I think they've extended it for like another 2 weeks, like tickets for another 2 weeks. So you know what? They heard my complaining. My wife always gets on me like, "Why are you always complaining?" Oh, well, there's nothing we can do about it.
All it
Like,
took was that,
like
like,
every
see,
single day, I come home with something new that's like, "Oh, well, this place just opened up, so we're not." So I understand it from both sides of it, like, because we're sick and tired. Like Californians have become numb to the fact that we've been shut down for so long, while other states, we're just living in FOMO, fear of missing out. We're living in FOMO that other states have been open, literally, like indoor dining at least, since like May. The guy I listened to, Clay Travis, in December, he took his whole family down for a Universal Disney World trip, had a blast. He's going to Mexico, he's doing all this stuff. Now, some say that would be irresponsible, but when the Biden administration, hallelujah, says that there will be enough vaccines for everyone to be able to take them if they want to by the end of May. I hope that, come June 1st, a lot more things are being opened or the capacity is being increased, because there's a chance that a lot more people are going to be vaccinated, or there's going to be a lot more people who are not vaccinated but will feel confident in going out and stuff. Because millions and millions of people have already been vaccinated. So hopefully, I just want peace. I just want the anxiety to go away. I want kids to be themselves again. I feel that this whole year, kids were like, things were taken away from them, and it sucks. And I just want just like tens of millions of people across the United States. I just want things to more quick, like faster. Get normal faster.
Man.
Don't rush it, but at the same time, we are ready. We are ready to get back to somewhat of a normal.
Yeah, I mean, there has to be a normal, because at the end of the day, it's like, while there's a 1% selfishness, I think, for me, you, the wives, and all that, for us to go have fun, it's for the kids too. I mean, taking away that social interaction at the age that they're at, the exposure to just the world, like, they're the ones that are getting cheated of a whole year of like total social interaction. One positive I did see on Twitter yesterday night is they are opening up California sports. So I think high school sports will be back on. So, I mean, we are taking steps forward so that, in all this, there is some good stuff happening. But again, I think as long as just the positive message is, slowly being spread between the vaccines, things slowly opening and stuff, we just need just kind of cooperation from everybody. Because at the end of the day, it's true. You don't want things to open up and people start being all reckless again. Like, it's California turns into Texas. You don't got to wear a mask. Are you still going to wear a mask? I'll be honest. I probably in certain situations will still wear a mask.
Yeah, for sure. Because even if I was in Texas, I probably still would.
Same way.
And then even California, even when it's like 100% capacity, I could see California still for at least the rest of this year. Like if you go inside of a grocery store, or if you go inside an indoor place, like you'll be able to go in there when you wouldn't have been able to this time last year, but you'll just have to wear a mask. You know what I'm saying? So,
which is fine too. Yeah. Like I think people yes, I will say I hate wearing it, but it doesn't bother me to where it's like, oh my God, the world's coming to an end. Like, just put a freaking mask on. Like, I don't know. But hopefully things do open up. I am with you on that, brother. And Comic-Con being closed sucks. It is it's dumb. Come on now.
Yeah.
Way too early to cancel such a big event, but hopefully they do something for us, whether it's the online thing like last year or something.
Yeah, for sure. So as we move along, Paramount Plus launched actually today, Thursday, March 4th. 2021. Pretty much what I'm reading is that it's folding all of the CBS All Access shows and movies and stuff, kind of folding it into one, and then they're going to, of course, have like their original, some shows, some movies, sports, and news. So I'm guessing if it's all CBS All Access, you'll have a lot of the CBS, you'll be able to watch March Madness on Paramount Plus. Hopefully it doesn't turn into a thing like Peacock where you have to have Peacock Prime to watch a Manchester United Chelsea game. Like that is pissing me off so bad right now. But just another thing to spend $6.99, $7.99 a month. Will you be subscribing to Paramount Plus, Sean?
You know what? I'm pretty content with what I have now, but like Peacock and all the other platforms that we're being exposed to, I definitely take a look and see what's actually going to be on it. I think it's cool in the end for people that want it. It's $6.99. I mean, hey, people with HBO right now, Comcast are paying like what, $200 plus for internet in the damn box. So if you were to get, YouTube TV, Hulu TV, ESPN Plus, Peacock. I'm sure you'd be paying under $200. So hey, for the guy who wants all the platforms, go ahead. I'm not immediately going to get it though, for sure. I mean, it's not worth it that much to me. I could watch March Madness on our YouTube account, bro. We're good.
Hell yeah, especially since they have like 4 different channels. You got like the True.
Oh, we're good, brother.
True TV, TBS, dude, I love it. So speaking of streaming, speaking of TV shows that we watch, it's like the CW coming back with some shows. Kind of weird though. I watched the first episode of Superman and Lois. Gotta tell you, the video quality, I felt like I was watching like a movie. It was not, you know how certain shows look a certain way, like sitcoms, like King of Queens and Seinfeld and Friends. They all look
like
a certain way, like when you're watching the show. And then the Flash, Arrow, Smallville, they look like a certain. Like I felt like I was watching an actual movie, watching this show, and it was weird because I don't know if TNT got the rights to it, but TNT actually showed the first episode, because when I tape it on the YouTube TV, and then I just watch it, 2 or 3 days later, and it was a TNT feed. It wasn't CW, so I'm wondering if episode 2 was back on CW. But The Flash just started on Tuesday, back up with season 6 or 7. I'm a couple episodes behind on both Batwoman and Black Lightning, but this is the time. When I was kind of like, oh, where the hell's all my shows? And I was, kind of went to Netflix or, like HBO Max to kind of binge some old shows. Now I'm like, oh no, when am I going to find the time to watch all of that? Plus Snowfall, I'm 2 episodes behind. I got The Walking Dead just started. I got 1 episode of that to continue like the 10th season. Oh my God, I'm already overwhelmed and it's only been 2 weeks.
Let me tell you, bro, when it all comes at once, bro.
Yeah.
I still got to watch the first 2 episodes of the new Superman and Lois. I got to watch The Flash. You got me on Vikings, mentioned it, and it's been awesome. The Sopranos, I'm watching that. Super awesome. The wife and I, we have her, Chicago PD and Chicago Fire, which are cool little shows. They're fun. And what's another one? We, of course, have WandaVision. We have the new Falcon show. That's going to be coming up pretty soon. Oh,
Snyder
my God,
Cut.
this is crazy. Snyder Cut. I don't even know if I have enough time for all this stuff. So it is going to be very hectic. Yeah, I was like you, bro. Just kind of like, come on now. It's kind of dry. And I blinked my eyes. 1 month later, bro, it is all just tumbling on us. But hey, bro, it's the one thing we love.
Hey,
content.
but you know what we did have time to watch was Judas and the Black Messiah. Dude, that was hella good. Let me tell you, fans. Let me tell you, people who are watching right now. If you have access to HBO Max, or whatever the hell, Judas and the Black Messiah. There is a reason why I totally forgot his name, but the guy who played what's his name? Fred.
It is my God.
The guy who gets killed at the end. By how we don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's was he poisoned? Was he shot? Was he poisoned? Then they got him off the hook.
Yeah, I don't know how he dies, but the movie itself was freaking awesome.
Yeah, so he won Best Supporting Actor at the Golden Globes. So usually the Golden Globes, I think, is somewhat of a precursor to the Academy Awards. If you're going to get buzz about Academy Awards and Oscars and everything, you might win those awards at the Golden Globes first.
Fred Hampton.
Fred. That's his name. I knew I knew it was one of those Manchester United players. I knew it was Fred.
No, if people just want to watch like just some real crap, like that's a damn good movie, man. It was authentic. It was, I don't know, man. It was one of those good ones, bro. You watched it and you were just hooked, and just this is the kind of crap that happened,
dude.
Some real life stuff. The Black Panther Party and a lot of things that went along with that, with the police brutality, the racism, the whole nine. So no, definitely recommend it. I'm happy you watched it, Mike. I remember you mentioned it, and I was like, bro, must watch easily.
Like the last 10 minutes when the whole apartment was getting shot up and everything, and then to later find out at the very end that the day after the interview aired, he killed himself.
Yeah. Just randomly killed himself, and there's only 1 bullet shot by the Black Panther Party during that shootout, and I think there's over 200 to 300 shot by the cops. And
dude,
I guess I'm just thinking out loud, but that is crazy.
That's extreme numbers, but man, some of those things that like based off true stories, and for us, we were born in 1987, so we literally don't even remember anything news-wise really until September 11th, like vividly, like waking up like September 11th,
Yeah.
you know, maybe Princess Diana dying in the car crash, you know, like things like that. But for that to happen, you know, in the 60s, 70s, dude, different times, man. Holy
Well, I'm
crap.
happy at the same time they're taking advantage of these different things that have happened and they're making movies on them and shows. I think it's kind of important for, all of us as people to understand the history that we do have, the good and the ugly.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot more ugly, to be honest. But again, they're portraying these situations. So, we're not blind to what's happening right now in this country and what has happened. So, no, HBO Max, I mean, of course, releasing it for free. I love it. So, I mean, that's definitely a good platform to definitely watch some good stuff. Tom and Jerry, another one that came out this past week.
That's right.
I watched bits and pieces with Marissa. I got to be honest, I wasn't impressed. Like, I had those moments like, okay, cool,
Classic Tom and Jerry, yeah.
That's what it was. It was classic. But I was like, I kind of rather stick to just the cartoons, little 15, 20-minute episodes. But nah, it's good that all these movies are being released. Next is like the Snyder Cut. That's the next one I'm waiting for.
Yeah, you got King Kong, Godzilla. You have Mortal Kombat, I think, in April. You got a bunch of stuff coming soon, man.
Space Jam 2. I seen the new pictures of LeBron. He's,
yeah,
of course, all happy for that. I did see that Don Cheadle's going to be in that movie too, so that's going to be cool.
Oh, nice. What was the buzz? What was the buzz on Lola Bunny? I saw it was trending on Twitter. I don't know what for.
I did not see the buzz. I haven't seen any memes or anything on it. Yeah, I did see a couple of the pictures, and she was on one. Of course, Bugs was on one, and then Labubu.
Oh, okay.
But nah, that's it.
Maybe at our break, we'll go ahead and search it on Twitter, and then we'll have a full story before we get into sports. But
it is sports related too. So hey,
technically. But to round out the comic book side and the comic book entertainment, we finally have WandaVision. So, WandaVision episode 8, episode 9 is literally opens up like when this video is being, recorded right now, people on the East Coast, I think, can watch it. If it gets released at midnight right now, people in New York are literally watching WandaVision's season or series finale. So what'd you think of the episode? I thoroughly enjoyed. I thought I was not going to like it in the beginning, how they were like, okay, what kind of episode is this? And then when I saw the dad open up the treasure trove of all of the series and shows that literally have been what each episode have been based off of, it's so cool to see how they kind of just bring it all together. And dude, isn't it crazy? Like the opening scene, not the opening scene, but the first kind of like, how she what's the movie I'm trying to think of? Scrooge, like Ebenezer Scrooge, where the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future, they like take him back in time and stuff. That's kind of how what Agatha Harkness did. And that first scene of when the Stark missile goes into the apartment and everything, you only get a picture of that really from when they were telling the story in Age of Ultron. It is so cool to actually now for it to come to fruition and for it to be on the big screen. I thoroughly enjoyed that first scene.
I gotta admit, bro, I think that was the best part about it because it took these movies that we watched and it kind of showed a different perspective on it. And the part that I'm gonna go on is how Vision dies, and then you see what actually happens with Vision's body.
Yeah,
because you kind of had that. Okay, Vision dies. The whole stone gets taken by Thanos, and it's like, okay, you really don't kind of see where his body goes, and it shows her actually go and see that. Oh crap, they're the ones that have his body and they're doing testing on it.
Yeah, no, testing it and like kind of like breaking it down, and it's funny. It's like, well, you can't just take $3 billion worth of vibranium out of here or whatever. And I thought that she had stolen the body and just kind of repurposed him.
That's what we originally thought too.
But she pretty much 3D printed him because wasn't it really cool when they also had the flashback of when she volunteered to like pretty much touch the Tesseract, and then you saw that numerous people had already died, and then boom, it looked like the Mind Stone pretty much also like helped give her power. Like the Mind Stone kind of made her, and then she sees the silhouette of Scarlet Witch. So it's like, duh, like it shows you way back before she even had these kinds of powers that boom, her and Vision are somehow connected, via the Mind Stone. So when they have the sit-down talk when they're watching Malcolm in the Middle, they have the heart-to-heart, they kind of fall in love and everything. They have been connected since day one of her receiving her powers, or at least her, I don't know if her powers were dormant and like the Mind Stone kind of like activated them or whatever. But dude, God, they're doing such a great job with this show. And then for her to, oh dude, that was such a powerful part. For her to have the map, like this is the plot of land, and then all of a sudden she's driving in her car. She sees all the people that are going to then be in Westview. And then everything that she's ever experienced, like good feeling, bad feeling, boom, just comes out in her chest. And then part of the yellow coming out of her chest or whatever, 3D prints Vision. Oh, yeah. My God. And then and then for her to be so happy when she's a kid, when she's watching, was it like the Mary Tyler Moore show or the Dick Van Dyke or whatever.
Dick Van Dyke show. It is Dick Van Dyke.
Dick Van Dyke show. That's what the first thing that Vision says, like, welcome home. And they kind of sit down as if they're in, like, kind of like it makes her, like, that's the happiest moment. So in her mind, that's some of the happiest moments of her life so far. And that's what she gets to experience. They're doing such a good job with this show.
Well, I think that was actually one of the best episodes they've had so far because literally, I mean, you just took all the words out of my mouth. When you see her as a little kid, I mean, she's learning English watching the Dick Van Dyke show with her brother, obviously her parents and stuff. And you start seeing, like, the anger that she has, though, for the things that have happened, too. Bro, when you see that connection with her and Vision, it's like Vision knows the evil that's in her to a degree. He knows the bad that's in her, and that's kind of like the actual good thing because he's aware, like, she's ready to blow, bro. Like, she is ready to just explode. And Agatha's not helping because she's like pushing for everything. Agatha's kind of just like showing her everything, the good and the bad. And then at the very, very end of that episode, I'll tell you what, that wasn't a vision, but that was something.
Yeah. Yeah, like white. So it's gonna be like vision on vision battle. Like, what's gonna happen? You're gonna have to have
that's why I think they took his body. Is they probably used it or did some? I don't know. Maybe somehow they just be able to basically created their own vision type robots.
They pretty much just made like another Ultron. You know what I'm saying? They took the tech and they pretty much like redid that. It's insane. And then you have second thoughts about Agatha Harkness. You know, she's telling Wanda that this is like chaos magic and you're doing too much. Like you pretty much crossed the line and you are the Scarlet Witch. As if the Scarlet Witch was already something that was already like in like a textbook, right? Like someone who shows this much, they can't restrain themselves. The self-control is 0 on a Madden scale. It's off the charts. She's just doing, you know what I'm saying? This is, like, if you witness this, and this, you now have Scarlet Witch. And now she is officially a Scarlet Witch. And I wonder if Agatha Harkness is either realized that she's maybe no longer one of the more powerful witches, or to see her mistake kind of in the beginning of the episode. Remember when she kind of lost control, like, I can't control it, when she was younger or whatever, and she's trying to like kind of police it. She's trying to control what's going to happen, or all hell is going to break loose, or AKA a multiverse of madness.
Well, they even showed, the predictions of what the next episode, like the cover page is going to be, and is it really going to be obviously Wanda as a Scarlet Witch? Because I mean, it almost has to at this point because she is. And
Monica Rambeau, like how does Photon, Captain Marvel, like how does she play into it? And then you have the two Visions. Like it looks like it's going to be an all-out war.
It's going to be a showdown for sure. And I think we have 1 or 2 episosts left.
One.
I think 2.
This is it.
Oh God.
Season / or series finale. If they're not going to do anything, like if Vision like ends up dying, which you would figure if the hex is gone, then he's now dead. He reverts back to what he was, and he was just a pile of whatever. Or if they keep that new Vision or whatever. But it's just insane how they might have little tidbits, like me and Danielle talked about this on the YouTube video. By the way, go check out the YouTube video, subscribe, and follow our Twitch page as well. So you could see Sean's newest video from last week, and we just dropped a video from Mark, his first After Dark with Mark, number 1.
Sounds freaky.
Yeah, I know. But no, it's going to be... It sucks because we're going to get a little tidbits here and there. If the Black Widow comes out in May like it's supposed to, Falcon, Winter Soldier, Loki, are we just going to get little like hints here and there? Kind of like end scenes like, when we saw Thanos reach in and grab the gauntlet, fine, I'll do it myself or whatever. Because like between WandaVision and the second Doctor Strange, I have no idea how we're going to have any kind of tie-in stuff.
Well, just think about all the movies we have coming out too, with obviously the new Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, as you mentioned, Black Panther. I think that's going to be next year. Obviously, the shows we still have with Loki coming up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm not going to be surprised if they're all going to just intertwine in one way or another,
There's
bro.
no reason for me to believe anything is going.
At this
That's going to
point,
bat. That's there's no reason for me to believe that Foggy and they're gonna mess this up. No, they know what they're doing, and they're gonna do a kick-ass job on this for sure.
all I'm going to say is everyone that watched the first episode of WandaVision had that, man, is it going to be just like a old sitcom type of
Like my
show?
dad, he was like,
You know
My dad
what?
watched the
You
first two
messed
episodes and
up.
he's like, I'm done. I was like, no, 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 dad, come on, come on, come on. I'd be like, watch the second half of episode 3 and on, you're good. And sure enough, the next weekend, okay, yeah, you got me. It's really good. And so they're gonna wait until tomorrow or Saturday, and they're gonna watch both 8 and 9. But yeah, dude, yeah, they can't judge if
Genius,
they can't
bro.
judge it off the first 2 episodes. Please don't.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that they just took a show like this. And I mean, I think I speak for you. I did not have these expectations for it. I mean, I knew like, okay, it'd be something to watch. It hopefully it'll be pretty cool. But it's been just mind blowing. Seriously, so crazy,
Mm-hmm.
bro.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll see how Falcon and Winter Soldier is, because that was technically supposed to happen before WandaVision. Same with Black Widow. So we'll see how it how it shapes up, because if it's less than WandaVision, I would have rather have
I
gotten
feel
that
bad.
first, and then WandaVision would have blown
I
my
feel
mind.
bad for the shows. Bro, I feel bad for all the shows because I'm telling you, man, Wanda set the standard,
They set the
bro.
bar really, really high. Oh man. But that is it. That's all from the comic book side of the podcast. You've heard some comic book reviews and previews for this week's Comic Con's canceled in California. You have a bunch of shows for you to watch on CW, HBO Max, and stuff. But we're going to take a quick break, just a few minutes. But please join us for the second half of the Comic Bookies podcast as we talk about sports. We will be back. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we are also on Twitch as well as YouTube. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Comic Bookies podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are live on YouTube and Twitch, so if you are viewing right now, go ahead and share that stream. We are brought to you like every week by Treasure Island Comics in Fremont, California. Yesterday, the 3rd of March, was New Comic Book Day. Go and grab your pull list. Go and get those books. Sean, it's sports time, baby.
Sports time, brother, as we always love to transition to after comics. You know what? It's been one of those weeks that I've been kind of waiting for something big sports-wise to happen, and then J.J. Watt happened.
Yeah.
Finally, he signs. I mean, it wasn't like we had to wait too long, but it is, J.J. Watt, one of those, generational type players. And out of all damn divisions, he comes to the NFC West. Yay.
He went to the worst team, in my opinion, still. Because the Seahawks, if they keep Russell Wilson, the Seahawks and the Rams are playoff teams. And then if the Niners, assuming they all get healthy, they're right back to where they are. If they're a completely healthy team, then boom, they're right back to being a Super Bowl contending team. I mean, at one point a month or two ago, they were top 5 in Super Bowl odds. Like, what the hell?
It's crazy. But I mean, that's the thing too, is like Arizona's the worst team, but they're not the worst team. That's the thing. They're still a damn good football team. So hey, to go from a Texas state to an Arizona state, he's gonna enjoy some more warm weather, hang out with his boy D-Hop. And yeah, man, I think Arizona definitely got a bolster on defense adding him. They're gonna be a good football team. The NFC West is stronger than ever. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be fun, bro. It feels like free agency is now started. Now that kind of that big gun got out of the way, let it begin. Let the dominoes fall.
Speaking of a domino, are you surprised that the Steelers signed Big Ben to another contract?
And there's nowhere else he was going to play. I mean, he did, I think, the smart hometown discount. I mean, bro, how much money does that guy really need? He was supposed to make like 20 plus. And I think he's down to like 14 or 15. So he took like a $5 million pay cut. And I mean, if he wants to play football, Pittsburgh, I think in like some weird ways kind of owe it to him, give him one more year. I mean, he knows he's on the back end. He's on these 1-year deals. This is probably his last year. So, I mean, hey, I knew he was going to come back. I'm happy he took the pay cut to help them out because I know they have a lot of free agents. So, hey, good for him. Good for both sides.
Do you have any thoughts or predictions on quarterbacks like Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott, Deshaun Watson, Drew Brees even? Because I heard a theory on Drew Brees that, when he lost that playoff game to Tom Brady this year, but after the game he was, seen with him and the kids throwing the ball around, just kind of hanging with an old, veteran opponent, / friend. And and you wonder if Drew Brees then watched Tom Brady go and win a Super Bowl, and at that age he's like, you know what? He went to a new team, all the pieces were there, and he won a Super Bowl. Like, do you think that Drew Brees, because he was working out, right? He posted he posted an Instagram thing about him working out and getting stronger and stuff. Do you think that he might want to go and do what Tom Brady did and for one more time leave the city that he's been so loyal to for over a decade and go try to win one more ring before he retires?
He brought a Super Bowl to a city that was in, triumph after the whole Katrina thing. So, I mean, he's a hero. There's no doubt about it. If I were him, I would. Why not? He can still play football. It would have to be the perfect team, though. I wouldn't just do it to play football for another year. It would almost have to be another Tampa. They had really no quarterback, and they were just waiting for the perfect guy to fall in that. And I just can't really think of a team that's in that spot right now.
What about the team further south in Florida and Miami?
I mean, Miami, the thing is, I think he needs to be on a Super Bowl ready team.
Yeah.
That's my thing, is like he's not playing. I think that he needs to be the complete difference maker. Like, he wants to be on a team that, like, I'm just going to add to it. I might be like a little bit of the difference maker, but I just think they're not Super Bowl ready. So, I mean, hey, I would love to see Brees play one more year, bro. I mean, I think it's time for New Orleans to start the transition. I mean, Taysom, I would actually go with him. Mm-hmm. He showed us some starts that he can play a little bit of football. But talking about those other quarterbacks, bro, Dak wants the big bucks. Does he deserve it, man?
Hell no. I don't even think he's a top 10 quarterback in the league.
Wow. You really don't think he's a top 10 quarterback?
No. Oh, for sure not, bro.
I'm so in between, because at the end of the day, I'm so huge on winning. I am huge on winning, and you got to give me something, because there's no doubt statistically the boy is. So I guess it's a little misleading if you look at it from a stats perspective.
He's not going to win in Dallas. Come on. They're giving too much money to the wrong people, and their defense sucks. And their offensive line can only get worse. You know what I'm saying? They're going to get older, they're going to get too expensive, and they're going to get worse.
They've peaked out, yeah.
And he's injury prone now, right? So is he less, is he less mobile? Is he going to be timid like Derek Carr looked like the first year or two after he broke his leg? I don't know. There's so many questions with Dak Prescott, and I'm not willing. And what the hell is he complaining about? Like, if he's going to be franchise tagged, dude, he's going to get a hell of money if he's going to get franchise tagged.
You should be happy.
Come on.
Average of the top 5 quarterbacks take an average. It's basically your first year back after a broken ankle, a severe injury, dislocated, whatever it was. Take a franchise, get paid like a top 5 guy, and then get that long-term deal next year. As a Raider fan, bro, you know what? It's funny because you showed us that comparison with Tom Brady, and it's true. Statistically, yes, they are a little misleading for all quarterbacks. We know that. But there's no doubt that, Carr puts up numbers. They do not lie from a numbers standpoint. But the idea that, Mayock thinks that Carr is one of the best quarterbacks in the league, quote unquote. Like, where's your head on that? Like,
I don't know. You're going to, they have things like the Pro Football Focus where they rank like the, position by position. They have him as the 10th best quarterback in the league. So,
he's not the problem. So I think we agree on that. It's hearing from a Niner fan and obviously a Raider fan. There's no doubt he is not the problem.
He's not the problem, but then, it's hard to see these rumors and like about Russell Wilson. Because you're also thinking that I also heard another good stat that who are like the only coaches in the NFL who are like, they kind of can make their own decisions. Like not as if they like own the team, but like, dude, Pete Carroll, Bill Belichick, and John Gruden. Like what other coaches in the NFL can be like, you know what, I want to do this, and more than likely they can do it. So when you have two of those coaches who are in the conversation for swapping quarterbacks and stuff, they may do it. There's always been questions about Russell Wilson and the relationship with Pete Carroll. Like they butt heads. People have always questioned John Gruden, like when he stepped in day one, like, does he really like Derek Carr? So, it could work. And so far, at least in the beginning of their reign, Mayock, like they prove that they can draft really well, like later in the rounds. But some of their first round picks have been kind of like Clelin Ferrell. Yeah, he's like a run stopper, but he's not the guy that I think that we should have picked at like pick number 3 or 4 or whenever we picked him. And then you go Jonathan Abram. He's been hurt. But, it seems like he causes problems on the field with all the damn penalties. Arnett's a little bit behind on the ball as far as being a first-round pick. So when you want to say that you can't really hit him in the first round, but you can go ahead and get that talent like Max Crosby in the third round, why wouldn't you then trade Derek Carr and a couple first-round picks for a surefire, Hall of Fame quarterback who's already been to the Super Bowl twice? Now he's got the offensive line. He doesn't have a defense, but his defense was getting really worse in Seattle too. Like they were giving up a lot of points as well. So he has the weapons in Ruggs, and they're not going to get Williams back, but with Josh Jacobs, and I don't know. It's weird. Like if they made the trade today and then I woke up tomorrow morning and saw it, I'd be 50-50 on it. I'd be 50% scared, like, dude, like, Carr's not the problem, but then 50% is like, oh, hell yeah, we just got freaking Russell Wilson? Hell yeah, dude.
A Super Bowl winner, man.
So I don't know.
I think the question mark now, too, bro, is, I think the biggest domino really in free agency is Deshaun, man. He is not a free agent, but just the idea that he wants to be traded, like, and again, it's just that disgruntled player, like, it's being just a little pain in the ass. Would you want your team to get him?
I don't know. They were saying something about like, hey, Dak Prescott and Deshaun Watson should just switch, just like new scenery, like maybe it'll do them good. They're still in Texas. They still have the low taxes and everything. They're still, they're comfortable. They might not have to move or at least move far, but I don't know. Like Deshaun Watson's cool, but he's in the same boat as Dak Prescott. Like, he wants a lot of money, but I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about Deshaun Watson. He's like the younger version of Russell Wilson, to where like, oh, hey, 49ers, would you want to give up 3 first-round picks over the next 3 seasons, and Jimmy G or somebody for him? Because look, he's going to have Kittle. He's going to have, dude, he's going to have some weapons as well. He's got a bomb running game. Offensive line is good. But then again, like the 49ers, if they get healthy, like just to go off the 49ers, because I've heard, rumors about Deshaun Watson. The bread and butter of that team when they went to the Super Bowl was not the passing game. So if you want to have a running quarterback like Deshaun Watson can do, then fine, then so be it. But if you want to spend all that draft picks and all that, all that capital on a guy who, when he's going to an offense and he's going to a team that needs to, and they solidify the run, they're a run-first team, power, they were the number one running team when they went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. So why F that up? If anything, you want to get some, like the best tight end in the nation or the best, offensive lineman, like where you're at. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like another weapon. I don't know. To me, I don't know. And then I remember I texted you that stat. Out of the last 10 years, the Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, except for Tom Brady, he had 14% of the cap space. So besides Tom Brady, the previous 9 Super Bowl winners took up 10% or less of the team's salary cap. Dak Prescott would be over 20% of your cap hit, and Russell Wilson would be like around 11%. So, I mean, that's not the only thing, but it's like a weird stat that just so happens that's what it hit, that's how it happens. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen between now and the draft in last week of April, first week of May, and then of course mini camps and stuff, and then you got training camp in July, in August, and the preseason. Then we're right back to it.
Football is year round, man. It's year round, no doubt about it. So, I do got to point out during our break, real quick note, I did find out the Lola Bunny thing that's going on right
what
now.
Was that?
So if you go back to the first movie, her introduction is when she goes into the basketball court with Bugs, and it kind of had like that sex appeal, cartoonish with the music and the way she appeared. And that's one thing that the director did not really like for the upcoming movies. So pretty much the director, Malcolm D. Lee, the cousin of Spike Lee, wants to make her more of a sports figure, make her a stronger woman. So she's going to be as like sexually appealing per se, so like sexualized the way that she was in a 1996 movie. Because it is true when you think about it, Bugs is always like jaw dropped, always like following her,
the heart coming out of his chest, like the mask.
Yeah, so they're gonna really change the persona on her. So that's pretty cool.
Because it was like lightweight blowing up, like it was the third highest thing on Twitter. So I was wondering if they did something where fans are just up in arms and stuff. Okay, cool. So it doesn't seem like it's too bad of a who gives a crap. Okay, cool. So let's get to the NBA, bro. You got some news. You got an All-Star break coming up. Are you excited? I mean, did the Warriors, they have one more game? Because they really needed to split. They need to split these last two to go, like 7-5 in that big 12-game stretch to go into the All-Star break to make you really feel like, okay, cool, yeah. But if they dropped the one that they dropped yesterday, and you know what? They already lost tonight.
They lost tonight.
So they went like 6-6 in that big 12-game span. That's right. I just saw like an hour ago, not even, that they did lose to Phoenix. So,
yeah.
So what do you think about not only so one thing, are you excited for the All-Star break this week? Is it this weekend?
It's going to be on Sunday. They're doing the full slate on Sunday. The shooting competition, the dunk contest, and then the actual game, everything on Sunday.
So you're excited for that, or are you excited for the Warriors second half of the season?
You know what, bro? We're a half game out of the playoffs right now. Dallas is ahead of us for the 8th spot. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of excited for the second half. I'm really disappointed the way we ended the first half of the season, losing a couple in a row tonight versus Phoenix. But I kind of knew we were going to lose because they're like the second seed, I want to say. Phoenix is balling out of their mind right now. But Steph and Dre didn't even fly to Phoenix. He just sent them home. Like, you know what? Just take tonight off.
Really? Yeah, because they got killed.
Yeah, they got killed today. So I think Kerr kind of is looking at the long run. Let's just actually get into the playoffs. I mean, we're not playing for the first or second seed. We're not good enough to be that good. We're not going to get
the Phoenix Suns are 2.5 games behind the Utah Jazz and a game above the Lakers. So yeah, you have Utah, Phoenix, Lakers, Clippers, Trailblazers, Nuggets, Spurs, and Mavericks to round it out. And going into the All-Star break, you have the 76ers, Nets, Bucks, Celtics, Knicks, Heat, Hornets, and Raptors. So yeah. So a little quick prediction, like going forward, like how do you like are these standings going to shake up? Is one team going to like kind of have a surge and go and sneak into the playoffs, or is someone going to kind of fall out of this top 8? Like what do you see going forward between now and the start of the postseason?
Well, real quick, going to the East, I think Indiana's going to sneak in the playoffs. I mean, the East is actually really close. When you look at all those playoff teams that are not in the playoffs, with the exception of Detroit, I mean, even Orlando, they're only
four games out of the 8th
right
spot.
now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I think there's really a good chance that Indiana for sure will get in. They're a good football team. It'd be nice to see like one of these Cleveland teams maybe get in. I mean, Cleveland sucks post LeBron, but they're only 3 games out of the playoffs, so that'd be fun. I think in the West, the Warriors, I mean, yes, maybe a little bit of bias, the homer call, but the Warriors are still a damn good football team, basketball team. They still got Dre's ball, Curry in the second half. I'm sure he's going to get a heavy workload. Mm-hmm. I think Wiggins and Oubre are a lot more comfortable with us. And we got to get that boy Wiseman more minutes.
Yeah,
it's his rookie year. It's his number 2 overall pick. He didn't play really many minutes these last couple of games, and this guy has to just go out there, show us what he got. Hopefully he's more confident with the team. And, I mean, looking at some of these teams, I think we're a better team than San Antonio. I think we're a better team than Dallas. So I think at this point, let's just get into the playoffs and see what happens.
Look at the East. The East is going to East. Look at this. 8th place. Dude, you got freaking the 6th place team in the East is 500. You got people who are in the playoffs, games under 500. I used to see this all the time. And then, of course, I mean, the West isn't too much better. Dallas is only 2 games over 500. But it's just every freaking time. The East was always like top heavy. Like 4 teams are really good. And then the, 5th and down, 5th through 15, there wasn't a huge difference to me, years back when I was actually hardcore watching it,
I think one thing I will note, too, is the Knicks. 19 and 18. I know they're like the worst scoring team in basketball, but they are the number 1 defensive team. And good for Julius Randle, who is an all-star. He's helping that team in the 5th seed. And LaMelo Ball, man, you know what? MJ came out and said it today as owner of the Charlotte Hornets. They did not think he'd be this good at this point. He's starting for the team. Devontae Graham got hurt, and it just opened up the starting spot. And dude, LaMelo, he is a baller, bro. Yeah. He is, I think, the biggest reason why they're in the 7th seed right now. And there's no doubt, bro, this boy has a bright future. I was about the Ball brothers, but this guy can play, man.
Yeah, it was really cool to see. I think it was either on ESPN's or on the Warriors Instagram page when they played against him, and Draymond Green was kind of like coaching him up and just kind of giving words of wisdom, And it's really cool to find that generation who's not that much older, but it's truly a different generation than him, just to kind of, give him, kind of like, this is what's going down, this is how it's done, and if you want to be successful in this, like, you've learned so much up to here, but that's still just a microcosm of what you can learn as far as your NBA career, and it's really cool to see players in all sports do that to, like, the younger generation,
Especially when you're seeing it from opposite teams. I mean, you can either easily have, this is the number 3 overall pick. I'm going to try to kick his ass in the game. But you've seen that wisdom. I mean, the other day, Carmelo came up to him and during the game was talking to him a little bit. So, no, these are some special talents. They're super young. I'm seeing people talk to Wiseman, too. Anthony Edwards. Definitely a good crop of young players. And, yeah, man, I'm definitely looking forward to the second half. All-Star game, the whole All-Star thing, I really don't care for. I think the players don't even want to play in it. Yeah. But it's a break. Let's just get healthy, get rested, and look forward to the second half.
Yeah, I think pretty soon. I'm not sure pretty soon, but it seems like, I don't know, like ever since they went away with the whole, if the AL or the NL wins, then that's who gets home field advantage. They're actually kind of playing for something. I think the only All-Star game that actually is somewhat entertaining is hockey, but I can see 10, 20 years down the road they get rid of it. They actually give them an All-Star game nod, like, you are a 12-time NBA All-Star, but we're not even going to have the games. We're just going to give you like a 4-day break, Because
at this point,
sooner or later, it's a health-wise, and players are going to be like, we don't even want to. So like, it's going to be an agreement between Players Association and the specific leagues to kind of get away with it. But then again, it's money as well. It's money for TV ratings. People buy tickets and stuff and concessions and stuff. So when you think about that, it's probably not going anywhere anytime soon. So to round out sports, let's get into. Unless you had something else you want to get into NASCAR now.
No. I mean, whatever you want to do. I
Okay.
mean, NASCAR is going to definitely be a weekly thing, fans, just so you guys know.
Yep.
Last week, a super, super fun race in Miami. And of course, this week, it's in the favorite spot in the world for the comic bookies, good old Las
Yeah,
Vegas.
like we mentioned on Instagram earlier this week, our very own comic bookie Mark, he actually called the correct team, Hendrick Motorsports, but he did not call the correct driver. So Kyle Larson was up there at one point, and then the last like 20 to 30 laps, he gave a huge boost to William Byron to push past Martin Truex Jr., and that boy did not look back. So William Byron
Yep.
takes the race down to Miami, and we're off to Las Vegas, which I'm seeing earlier just because I kind of start the website when I look at stats at Kyle Larson. He actually has a lot of top 10 finishes in his short career in Las Vegas. He has finishes of 9, 8, 2, 3, 2, 8, and then he also has a finish of 12, and that's all very recently too. That's 2017 and up. So he definitely is going to have some success, but I don't know, man. I always come back to also like Joey Logano. I think he's won the last two spring races here. So like this specific
Yep.
race, I believe he's won the last two. So he's good there. I believe you also have Brad Keselowski has a win in the last couple years. And then, yeah, I think it's going to be one of those top dog races, unfortunately, as far as who's going to finish. Kevin Harvick has a recent win, and so has Martin Truex Jr. So you're going to see Penske, JGR, and then Kevin Harvick as well. I'm not sure how well Hendrick Motorsports is going to do, but I'm really excited about like this, front row motorsports and Roush Fenway and some of these smaller teams really having success. Like Michael McDowell and Kevin Harvick are the only two drivers in all of NASCAR to have top 10 finishes in all three races so far. I think that's pretty awesome.
Super awesome, bro. And the Kevin Harvick you bring up, his name is the guy who I was going to bring up right now. 23 races. He has 12 top 10s. This guy has 2 wins there. He's a machine. We know how good he was last season.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioning Logano, you mentioning Keselowski, even looking at Truex. I mean, these are the top dogs. And this race, unfortunately, seems like it's going to be one of those guys. Kurt Busch, I think a name to watch too. He has 22 races. He has 6 top 10s. I believe he's from Vegas, I want to say also.
Yeah, him and Kyle are from Vegas. It's their home race.
So it is a home track. So, the Busch brothers, I think there could be something to say about that. But no, I know last week, William Byron, he had a good race. And even Tyler Reddick, he ended up in second. So,
That's right.
I think it's going to be it's good
Mm-hmm.
to see that there's, those kind of people winning.
Yeah.
Those kind of people. But really, the races that you're not always hearing, it's not the same crap like up every week is going to be, Harvick like last year. You're actually seeing different racers win. So I think that's great for the sport.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this week it's going to be a big dog. There's no doubt about it.
But, with the parity that we have with the first 3 races of the season, I think it's going to scare guys like Alex Bowman and Eric Almirola and guys Austin Dillon, Matt DiBenedetto, who are, usually sure locks into the playoffs as far as like maybe like the 12 through 16. When you have guys like, McDowell and Byron already winning, you have 3 different winners in the first 3 races, I think they're kind of scared. They're like, oh shoot, like I may need to win a race that way I can get into the playoffs because there's only 13 spots left and plenty more racing to go, So, but all time in Las Vegas, you have Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney as the only, of course, 2 Penske drivers are the only 2 drivers who have a career top 10 finish there as well. But when you go down the list of recent drivers and winners there, you only have a handful of guys. Like only Joey Logano, Truex, Keselowski, Busch, Harvick, and Busch. Only 6 current drivers have wins in Las Vegas. So why would you think that someone like Kyle Larson or even Chase Elliott or even Denny Hamlin has no wins there? Like please change my mind as far as our thinking, to the top heavy and to the big dogs and the guys who have done it before. Like, is there going to be any parity? Is there going to be there probably is going to be a different winner, but is it going to be someone other than those 6 drivers that I named,
Bro, I'm wondering what are the odds that's going to be one of those 6 drivers or the field, because chances are it's going to be one of those 6 drivers. But I will say that it is good to see like a De Benedetto. He does have 2 top 5s there, so that's
Yeah.
pretty good. Austin Dillon, he has 2 top 5s. So there's a couple names you can say, okay. I mean, even the Chase, he's one of the young
Mm-hmm.
guns. 2 top 5s right there. Larson, he has 3 top 5s. So it's hey, I mean, these are definitely the young guns, as I mentioned. They're cream of the crop right now, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I mean, you said it, bro. There are 6 racers with career wins at this track for active drivers. And I'm pretty sure I know who's going to win this, or the group of it's going to come
Yeah.
out of.
And then thing about De Benedetto too is he used to race the number 21 for the Wood Brothers, and that's a Penske. It's like a sister company. It's like a sister car to Penske. So I'm like, there you go. Like, top 5s for De Benedetto. He probably got those top 5s when he was racing the 21. And Kyle Larson, actually, he's going to get one soon because he had all those top 10 finishes in a Chip Ganassi car. I can only imagine that the Hendrick Motorsports car is a little bit better. So who knows? We could see a different winner than those 6 this weekend. I hope it's my guy.
Well, the guy's been racing, bro. He raced great last week. He raced great the week before. I'm telling you, bro. Yeah, with Kyle, it's just a matter of
He's
time.
knocking on the door for sure.
Bro, we knew he's on a mission. I mean, all 3 of our drivers. I mean, Logano, he had his chance to get a win this year.
Twice.
Chase, I mean, we know Chase. He's going to be a week in, week out, I think, favorite in most tracks. And again, Larson, I think people are kind of sleeping on him because he had a year off. But this guy's, he's a racer, and he races really, really hard. So, again, I think if it is somebody outside of those top 6, I actually think it'll be one of our drivers because you see how strong they're racing right now. Those cars, they're going quick.
Yeah. If I would add a third one to that group outside of it, I would either maybe 2, maybe either Denny Hamlin or Ryan Blaney, actually, just another one of the Penske or JGR cars too. But man, we're in the month of March. It's technically going to be, what's this today? 4, 5, 6, 7. So March 7th, March 28th, the countdown to that dirt race at Bristol, dude. Oh man, that's going to be a bomb ass race to watch, bro.
That's going to be fun, bro. You know, the dirt track king, Kyle Larson, that's all he was doing basically last year when he was just killing it. And who is the person I want to bring up right now that is going to be pushing him on those dirt tracks? Bell.
Yeah, Christopher Bell. They say that Christopher Bell is like a dirt track machine. Also, Ryan Newman, I think he came up on dirt tracks as well. I think it was Newman. Correct me if I'm wrong, fans, if you're listening now.
I want to see him, cut a little dirt, bro, and see these guys go at it. Like that's the race I think we're all excited for. It's kind of like, okay, this is Vegas is cool too. Don't get me wrong. You know what? Mark actually brought up too that they sold out Vegas. I want to say right for the available seats.
Yeah, they did all weekend too. Not just the Cup Series on Sunday, but the trucks and the Xfinity Series. So that's awesome.
People want to watch, guys.
Yeah, dude.
It's gonna be fun, definitely.
Man, it's just crazy. Like Vegas is like right there. What is it, like a 3-4 hour drive from Fontana?
And like even for like where we live right now, an hour flight.
Oh yeah, dude.
It's just that close.
Yeah. I mean, we were texting the other day, and I was like, I'm just waiting for them to. I'm just waiting for the day that we get the Instagram thing, like, oh, we have officially canceled, Sonoma. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they would have already done it by now, but I don't know. It's scary to think about it. But we have two races this month on the west, and then then we go back east. So we have Vegas this week, the Instacart 500 in Phoenix, one of 2 races, because of course the championship race is there, and then we go to Atlanta, and then of course to Bristol Motor Speedway on the dirt track. So plenty of races to watch. I think there's also a race on Friday and on Saturday. It's a really fun race. I mean, I wouldn't have been, if we had this podcast 5 years ago, I would have skipped NASCAR.
No way in hell.
NASCAR would be like cricket to me. Like, oh yeah, sure, we'll talk about cricket. Like I wouldn't talk about it. But dude, going over to Mark's house when you came and when our future wives were there too and just watched the Daytona 500, bro, it just got me so into it. And that's one of like just the super speedways where they're just going around and around and around. And then we go down to Fontana, and then we go to Sonoma. Like, we have so much fun at these races. And man, I don't know. It's so crazy. 5 years ago, 6 years ago, you would not, man, you couldn't tell me that 2 of the sports that I pay attention to the most are Premier League soccer and NASCAR. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get so excited for those 2 sports, even more than hockey and basketball right now. It's insane.
Well, it definitely started with Mark. I
Yeah.
mean, I admit I get excited for all sports, but again, with Mark, it rubbed off on Alex, my cousin, and then we started kind of getting into it. And I remember that race, bro. We were like jumping up like we won the damn Super Bowl after the race was over. And now it's when it's on, it's not one of those like, oh, it's a NASCAR. See you
Yeah.
there. No, I turned it on and you can actually like now that I think we actually understand, we actually know racers, we actually know like different techniques when they're helping each other, the blocking and kind of just the pure talent that it takes to go into a damn turn at like 180 miles an
No, yeah,
hour.
for real.
Knowing that you're inches away from another car, like that ain't just something that any regular person can do. It's definitely another sport that people need to at least give a chance to, because I know it's easy to say, oh, they're just turning left the whole time. No, 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 no. It's a lot more than that. And hey, if me and Mike can get into it, I guarantee anyone could find something to take out of it for sure.
I can compare it to hockey as to where you would tell somebody, dude, go to a game. Like hockey to me is one of the funnest live sports to watch. I mean, come on, bro. You went to that Sharks and Vegas Golden Knights game a couple years ago. That like
best event I ever went to, bro.
That classic epic Game 7 where they scored 4 goals and 1 penalty. But then to go to NASCAR race, you just hear the engines, just the loudest of the pit stops, and then the flyover, and you just get like, oh man, you just get so amped up for it. Them going, I mean, yes, Fontana was around and around, but it's a whole different feeling than from watching it on TV, and it makes you appreciate the sport even more.
Well, we got to think now, bro, of all the different sports that we've talked about on this podcast, 102 episodes. I mean, I think by now, the worldwide fans, not just the nationwide, the worldwide fans, they know the sports that we love, from soccer to NASCAR to obviously the baseball, football, hockey, etc. There are so many sporting events, bro, that we got to do a live podcast at. Like, we got to go for March Madness. We got to go somewhere for a NASCAR race, whether it's Daytona. I mean, hell, maybe one year we'll be at the damn Super Bowl. You never know. Obviously, our local teams with the A's, the Giants, Arizona going there for spring training. I mean, especially now that we're doing live podcasts, bro, I am so excited.
Yeah, no, for real. It's going to be fun. And hopefully when things start to, open back up too, hopefully we get some Comic-Cons that we can go to and just kind of like interact with all of the fans and everything. But yeah, I mean, that's NASCAR, and that rounds out the end of episode 102 live here on YouTube and on Twitch. Thank you so much for everyone who's joined in tonight. And for those of you who don't want to watch us and see our beautiful faces, then you will get this episode on Saturday morning where you can actually download and listen to the audio. But Sean, before I let you say goodbye to the fans, I want to add another stamp to the comic bookie passport, my friend.
Ooh, my favorite.
So we
where we at?
We are at. So a little bit southeast of Guatemala is a download in Costa Rica. So thank you so much to the one fan in Costa Rica. Hopefully we can see more and more of you week in and week out. Belgium's still strong at 13 downloads, bro. There's one person in Belgium. You know who you are. Please reach out to us, but they keep downloading every single week. So thank you so much to all of you who have downloaded. Another fantastic month of February. Sean, so this was probably our best month, not total downloads, but probably our best month because we literally released like 2 episodes, like full podcast episodes. 2. That was beginning of the month, and then we did episode 100, which is strictly on YouTube. And then the next week, me and Mark just recorded like a 10, 12-minute thank you of episode 100. And then, of course, last week. And that technically was like February 27th, so we literally had like 2 days for people to download. But dude, an amazing, amazing week. We have a good start to the month so far in March. But yeah, thank you so much to the fans. So Sean, take it away, bro.
Well, I guess before I do, thank everybody. Most importantly, thank obviously our sponsor, Alex, at Treasure Island Comics in Fremont, California. Definitely check them out, as we say numerous times throughout the episode. Definitely a great way to get into comics. So for sure, check them out. As I mentioned, new comics every Wednesday. To the fans, guys, as I say every week, thank you so much for the interaction. I think it's something that Mark, Mike, and myself truly appreciate. And we're really happy now that we're doing these live podcasts. It's funny because we'll be doing it and we catch ourselves that when we would do non-live podcasts, we would sometimes mess up and all this stuff. But doing the whole live thing, like, I love it. I've always loved it, bro. It's just organic. It's hanging out, drinking a beer with my best friend. We're just chilling, talking sports. So, I mean, it doesn't get no better than that. You guys know the social media, the Facebook, the Instagram. Definitely check us out. We are on YouTube. We are on Twitch. I definitely look forward to some more Batcave minutes, some After Dark with Mark, and of course some Powers Hours, because those are some fun videos that we're starting to just release more and more often. And again, just keep interacting with us, guys. I mean, we'll start promoting even earlier in the week to ensure that you guys are aware of the podcast, whether we do it on Thursdays or Wednesdays, the time. Just lock it in your schedule, guys. We're excited for what's coming up. Episode 103 next week. Another knocker for you guys. Can't wait.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. YouTube and Twitch are really important to follow and subscribe to, because if you really want to watch us do this, you have to, subscribe and hit the bell button, because it's kind of hard. Like, no one is ever on Instagram. Like, there's not a lot of people who are on Instagram and then see our story. We're like, hey, we're live on YouTube and Twitch. So if you really don't want to miss us week in and week out, subscribing to our YouTube page is what you want to do, because you're going to get a ping on your phone when we go live, and that way you won't miss us. You also get a ping every single time Sean drops a video, Mark drops a video, or myself drops a video. So thank you so much to all the fans worldwide, not just in the United States. It looks like more things are opening up. We can go do more things, even here in California. So keep our fingers crossed. More people, there's less and less cases every day, and more people want to be doing stuff. So hopefully we can get to you. And because I know for sure, myself, Mark, and Sean want to go out to a con or something in sports and see all of your beautiful faces. So for Mark, who will be back next week, that guy in the bottom right little corner there is Sean. This guy who I'm talking right now, I'm Mike. This has been the Comic Bookies Podcast, episode 102, live on YouTube and Twitch. Thank you so much. See you all next week. Enjoy the sports, enjoy the comics, and enjoy each other. Peace the hell out.
Peace.
Here, let's do a Mark. Always enjoy each other. And then what do we say?
And remember this, that.
Yeah, and remember. Oh, what do we say? Oh, man. We're totally not doing him justice right now.
You know what? It's hard, though, to do justice. Mark just comes up with something that we would never think of.
I know. So you know what? We're just gonna...
And remember, Mark will be back next week.
Yeah, just leave it at that. Peace out, everybody. We love you.